Greetings children, welcome to the online classes. This is Aishwarya. Please like and subscribe the channel for the further updated videos. The following video is for class 6, subject General Science, chapter 9, the living organisms, characteristics and habitats, part 3. Now part 1 and part 2 of this lesson, we learned about what are organisms, what are the surroundings that they live in, and the surroundings they live in is called a habitat, and how the animals have adapted themselves to these different habitats. So what is a habitat? The place where organisms live is called habitat. What are different types of habitats? Terrestrial habitats and aquatic habitats. Terrestrial means land land related animals and plants. Then aquatic habitats, that means it is the water component. Okay, then we learned what is biotic and abiotic components. Biotic means living habitats, living animals of a habitat, and abiotic means it constitutes to the non-living environment, that is rock, soil, air and water. Then we even learned how these rock, soil, air and water constitute to the living component of any habitat. Then we learned about one terrestrial habitat, that's the desert, how the plants and the animals have adapted themselves to the desert conditions. Now moving on, we are going to learn about mountain regions and what are their different kinds of animals and plants that are present. I am reading out from page number 84. I hope you have your textbooks with you. Please keep them and refer the textbook. I'm reading from page number 84, second paragraphs. Mountain regions. These habitats are normally very cold and windy because the altitude is higher than the sea level. Altitude means height. The height of the mountains is taller than the sea level. That's why it will be very windy and very cold. In some areas, snowfall may take place in winter. Sometimes in winter there will be snowfall also. There is a large variety of plants and animals living in mountainous regions. Have you seen the kind of trees shown in picture 9.6? That picture is given in your screen also. Trees of mountain habitat. If you live in a mountain region or have visited one, you may have seen a large number of such trees. These are nothing but the coniferous trees. Okay, why are they called coniferous trees? Because they look like cones. Yes, but have you ever noticed such trees naturally growing in other regions? No, because these coniferous plants have adapted themselves to the mountain regions where they can grow well, and their body type or the way they grow is also adapted to the mountainous regions itself. How these trees adapted to the conditions prevailing in their habitat. These trees are normally cone shaped and have sloping branches. Like the coniferous trees, the Xmas tree, it has a sloping branch. The leaves of some of these trees are needle like. Leaves of these trees are needle like. Okay, this helps the rainwater and snow to slide off easily. If the leaves are broad, it will hold on to this ice and water. That is why this is very needle like. It is very thin, so that the water and the snowfall does not stand on it, and it will just slide off easily. There could be trees with shapes with very different from these that are also present in mountains. They may have different kinds of adaptation to survive on the mountains. Then animals living in mountainous regions are also adapted to the conditions there. They have thick skin or fur to protect them from cold. For example, the yaks have gone long hair to keep them warm. Snow leopard has thick fur. Snow leopard picture you can see on your screen. It has a very thick fur on its body, including the feet and the toes. It is completely very thick so that it will keep its body warm. This protects its feet from cold when it walks on the snow. The mountain goats, I'll show you the picture of the yak, and this is the mountain goats. Mountain goats have strong hooves for running up the rocky slopes of the mountain. As we grow up in the mountainous regions, as we go up in the mountainous regions, the surroundings change and we see different kinds of adaptations in different heights. Yes, now we saw two different terrestrial habitats, that the mountain regions and the um, desert regions. Next is the grasslands. I'm reading out from page number 85, third paragraphs. A lion lives in a forest or a grassland, or uh, and is a strong animal that can hunt and kill animals like deer. It is light brown in color. Look at the picture of the lion and that of the deer. Both the picture, it is there in your textbook as well as in your on your screen too. How are the eyes placed in the face for these two animals? Are they in the front or on the side of the face? Lions have long claws in their front legs that can be withdrawn inside the toes. Do the features of the lion help it in any way to survive? Its light brown color helps it to hide in the dry grasses when it hunts for prey. Prey means it's the animal which gets eaten. Okay, example, deer. The eyes is in the front face, allowing it to have a correct idea about the location of its prey. That means to whomever it is going to hunt, so it can see properly. That's why the eyes are in the front. The deer is another animal that lives in the forest and grasslands. It has strong teeth for chewing hard plant stems of the forest. The deer needs to know about the presence of predator. Predator means the animal which will hunt them down. Animal which feed on other animals for food are called the predators. Now, animals like lion and tigers are predators. In order to run away from them or and not become their prey, it has very long ears and hear movement of the predators. They will be very careful. They'll be looking around if there are any predators. If they see any predators, they will run away from there. The eyes on the side of its head allow it to look in all directions for dangers. The speed of the deer helps them to run away from the predators. There are many other features of lion and a deer, or a deer and other animals and plants, that help them to survive in uh, their habitats. Next, we are moving on with some aquatic habitats. We saw different terrestrial habitats. Now we'll see what are the different aquatic habitats. First, we'll talk about oceans. We already discussed how fish are adapted to live in the sea. Many other sea animals have streamlined body to help them move easily in the water. There are some sea animals like squids and octopus which do not have a streamlined shape. They have deep they stay deep in the ocean near the seabed and catch any prey that move towards them. They will sit very silently unnoticed, and if there is any fish which passes them, they will prey on them and they will eat them. That is how these octopus and squids feed on other animals. Okay. However, when they move in the water, they make their body shape streamlined. Okay, these animals have gills to help them use oxygen dissolved in the water. There are some animals like dolphins and whales that do not have gills. Dolphins and whales do not have gills. They have lungs inside their body. So, like we have nostrils, they have blowholes. They breathe in air through nostrils or the blowholes that are located on upper parts of their head. This allows them to breathe in the air when they swim near the surface of the water. They can stay inside the water for a long time without breathing. They come out to the surface for time to time to breathe in air. Did you ever see the interesting activity of dolphins in the television program or films in the oceans? They are beautiful creatures. They are like the dogs in the water. They like playing with human beings, and if you I don't know if you have noticed, must have seen that one of the whale brought back a girl's phone which was fallen under the water. Okay, they are that helpful, and they can be trained well. Okay, next we are moving on to ponds and lakes. Have you seen plants growing in ponds, lakes, rivers, and even some drains? Go on the field trip to nearby ponds if possible and try to observe the kind of plant that are seen there. Observe the leaves, stems, and roots of these plants. You can see, now that you can't visit any ponds, you can see the pictures that I have uh, shown you on the screen. Some of these plants have their roots fixed in the soil below the water. In terrestrial plants, roots normally play a very important role in the absorption of nutrients and water from the soil. However, in aquatic plants, roots are much reduced in size and their main function is to hold the plant in place. The stems of these plants are long, hollow, and light. The stems grow up to the surface of the water while leaves and the flower float on the surface of water. Some aquatic plants are submerged in the water. All parts of such plants are under water. Here you can see the submerged plant. Okay, all the parts of that plant is under the water itself. Some of these plants have narrow and thin ribbon like leaves. These can bend in flowering can bending flow in water. In some submerged plants, leaves are often highly divided, though through which the water can easily flow without damaging them. Frogs usually live in ponds. Okay, frogs usually live in ponds. Frogs can stay both inside the water as well as move on the lands. What are such animals called as? Amphibians. Okay, they have strong back legs that help them in leaping and catching their prey. They have webbed feet which help them to swim in the water. Now we have discussed all few common animals and plants compared to the wide variety that live in different habitats. You may have also noticed the wide variety of in plants around you when you have prepared a herbarium as suggested activity in chapter 7. Herbarium, you don't have to worry about it, children. Okay, so I hope you understood this much of the lesson. Next, the characteristics of organisms, we will learn it in the next video. So stay at home, stay safe, take care of yourself. I hope you're all doing well and you're all healthy. So stay safe and keep learning, children.